Okay, welcome to this exciting video where I'm going to trade this $7.84 account. So stay tuned and watch the video to the end so that you don't miss on the skill and prowess of managing a very small account. So I'm going to use simple price action using the top-down analysis strategy that is very useful. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss on any important update that I'm going to post in the future. So without wasting much of your time, let's jump right into it. So as you can see, currently I'm trading the volatility 100 index in the daily time frame. So what you need to know is you have to take a look at your naked chart from a bigger time frame, right? As you can see, we are in a daily time frame. So what we are going to do right here is we are going to analyze the market from the higher time frame up to the lowest time frame. So this is very important because it helps you understand where the market is coming from the bigger picture to where the market is going in the smaller picture, of course. So what we are going to do right here is, first of all, we're going to identify the major areas of confluence, right? So the major areas of confluence, the first one we have, I'm going to put a shadow zone that is marking the area of confluence, that is the major one right here. So as you can see, this shadow zone is showing a support that happened on the 2nd of August in 2025. So this one is very powerful because it is in the daily time frame. So you must always remember that the confluences that are on the higher time frames are always powerful than those in lower time frames. So make sure that you analyze your markets from the weekly time frame so that you can see clearly and so that you can understand it from the bigger picture, right? So let's move on. So this is the first confluence that we have identified, that is the support, right? So it means that the market at this point is going to face a lot of difficulty to break to the downside because this is support. This is actually a major support level, right? It's actually an area of demand where the market will be forced to go back up because the bulls at this point will be very powerful, right? So let's analyze another major area of confluence. So what we are going to do is we are also going to identify another support line. This one is more like a trailing support, right? I'm pretty sure you can see clearly that this support was respected quite a number of times when the market was creating lower lows, right? So if the market is creating lower lows and lower highs, it means that the market is in a downtrend, right? If it's in a downtrend, it is creating lower lows and lower highs until a point where it makes a change of character, right? So at this point it will be just it will be doing the break of structures and making impulsive moves and retracement, creating lower lows, right, up to a point at this point where the market is facing the support right here and the bulls are very powerful at this point. So it means that in the bigger picture we are saying that the market is currently at two major support levels, right? So it means that bulls at this point are very powerful. So in the bigger picture we are saying the market is going to buy, right? Is going to buy in the daily time frame, but then we are going to analyze this market in lower time frames so that we can see if it is in conjunction with the bigger time frame, right? So let's move on to a lower time frame, right? Let's move on to 4-hour time frame, right? Let me delete this so that it can be clear to you, right? So let's zoom in so that you can see, right? So at this point you can see that the market is actually touching this support level at this point, right? And then it was already rejected once when the market created this big candle, it was rejected. So it means bulls at this point are very powerful, but then the fight can never be done with just one punch. The bears had to push the market back down to retest that support level, right? So in the 4-hour time frame, we are also going to identify areas of confluence at this point, and then right here we can clearly see that the market was creating more lower lows in the lower time frame, right? More lower lows. So at this point we can see that the market is at the latest lower low that was created, right? So we can identify this at the demand, as the demand zone, or a point where the market is strong bullish power, right? So we can then identify another area of confluence, that is the resistance line at the top, that is connecting all the lower highs. So it means that if the market is creating lower lows and lower highs, it is in a channel of a downtrend, right? You must always remember that. You must always know that whenever the market is creating lower lows and lower highs, it is in a downtrend until it does a change of character. So as long as there is no change of character, the market is still in a downtrend, right? But then that does not necessarily mean you can only enter buy positions, right? You can only enter buy positions. It does not necessarily mean that. You can actually identify sell opportunities and buy opportunities. Of course, it is more favorable to enter sales rather than buys, because the market is in a downtrend. But then I usually recommend you to sell at the support line, especially at this point where three support lines are meeting, right? This is the point where three support lines are meeting, so we can say the market is going to buy. So let me put an arrow so that you can see. So this one is a falling wedge, right? So if you watch most of my videos, you know that as long as there is a falling wedge, the market is always supposed to bounce at the support line at the bottom, and then 9 times out of 10 it is supposed to break to the upside like this, and then comes back with a retest back to the resistance, and then it will go up. So once it breaks to the upside, this resistance becomes the support. So let me draw how the market is going to move if it ever breaks to the upside, right? Like this, and then it does another impulsive move, right? It then moves up, and then this will be our first take profit. Let me put the take profit levels. So I'm actually going to execute this trade so that you can see, and then we wait for it, right, at this point. So this will be our first take profit. So this is a very clear setup that you can take anytime, any day, and you can document it so that you learn from whatever the outcome is. So I'm just going to execute this so that you can see how it is going to turn out. So right here, this is volatility 100. So let's look for volatility 100. Where is it? It's there. I can't find it. Right, volatility 100. So since this account is very small, I'm just going to enter one position only. Right, just don't mind the setup that I had drawn, but it actually is the same. This is actually from the previous video. If you watch all of my videos, this is actually the setup from the previous video. It's just the same setup that I've drawn on the laptop. So I'm going to execute just one trade, right? So we are in, of course we are in $7 profit. We are going, oh, this is great, 7 cents profit. So what can I buy with this 13-cent account? What can I buy? I can actually close and spend my 13 cents like, you know, like a trader I am. Anyway, I'm just going to cut the video so that I will show you the outcome when the market goes in whatever direction that it is going to choose. So I will just show you after the profit or the loss.